Welcome to Millennium News Hour. I am Tanzeeba Naurin. In today's bulletin, we will present top and trending news from across the nation and the world. Let's begin with the headlines of the day. Biden signs a bill averting a government shutdown for now, with Israel and Ukraine aid still stalled. Blinken urges Israel to stop settler violence in West Bank. Demonstrators demanding a ceasefire in Gaza shut down bridges in Boston and San Francisco. Florida sued over ban on pro-Palestinian student groups. White House slams Elon Musk's abhorrent promotion of anti-Semitism. Man arrested over Jewish protesters' death during pro-Palestinian rally. TikTok removes hashtag for Osama bin Laden's letter to America after viral videos circulate. Thousands of bodies lie buried in rubble in Gaza. Families dig to retrieve them, often by hand. UN aid to Gaza halted again. Canadian man found guilty of murdering Muslim family in truck attack. Fire at office building in northern China kills 26. Messi's Argentina loses first match since World Cup title, falling to Uruguay. Colombia beats Brazil. And Shakur Stevenson labors to WBC lightweight crown in win over De Los Santos. You were listening to headlines, now news in detail. President Joe Biden signed a temporary spending bill a day before a potential government shutdown, pushing a fight with congressional Republicans over the federal budget into the new year, as wartime aid for Ukraine and Israel remains stalled. The measure passed the House and Senate by wide bipartisan margins this week, ensuring the government remains open until after the holiday season, and potentially giving lawmakers more time to sort out their considerable differences over government spending levels for the current budget year. Biden signed the bill Thursday in San Francisco, where he was hosting the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. News of the signing came late at night. The president signed the bill at the Legion of Honor Museum, where he held a dinner for APEC members. The spending package keeps government funding at current levels for roughly 2 more months, while a long-term package is negotiated. It splits the deadlines for passing full-year appropriations bills into 2 dates, January 19 for some federal agencies and February 2 for others, creating 2 dates when there will be a risk of a partial government shutdown. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has asked Israel to take urgent steps to stop violence being carried out by Israeli settlers against Palestinians in the occupied West Bank. The top U.S. diplomat made the call in a telephone call with Benny Gantz, a centrist opposition leader who joined Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's wartime cabinet after Hamas's October 7 attacks on Israel. Blinken stressed the urgent need for affirmative steps to de-escalate tensions in the West Bank, including by confronting rising levels of settler extremist violence, the State Department said in a statement on Thursday. Blinken also discussed efforts to augment and accelerate the delivery of humanitarian assistance into Gaza, secure the release of captives held by Hamas, and prevent the war from widening into a broader conflict, the State Department said. Israeli settler violence has increased significantly since the start of the Israel-Hamas war, rising from an average of 3 incidents to 7 per day, according to the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. Blinken's comments came as Israeli forces carried out fresh raids in the occupied West Bank and continued military operations in and around several of Gaza's major hospitals, forcing them to suspend operations. Demonstrators seeking a ceasefire in Gaza blocked bridges on both sides of the U.S. on Thursday, including a major span into San Francisco during a global trade summit involving President Joe Biden and other world leaders. 80 protesters were arrested on the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge and 29 vehicles were towed after demonstrators blocked all lanes on the upper deck, with some drivers tossing their keys into the bay. One person was booked into county jail, but the others were cited and released, the San Francisco's Emergency Operations Center said in an email. Traffic was snarled for hours after more than 200 demonstrators demanded that Biden in San Francisco for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Leaders Conference call for an immediate ceasefire in the war between Israel and Hamas. In Boston, about 100 protesters stopped traffic on the bridge connecting the city to Cambridge for more than 2 hours during the morning rush. They chanted, "Ceasefire now," and held a banner with the words, "Jews say ceasefire now," and they called on one of Massachusetts' 2 senators, Democrat Elizabeth Warren, to do more to halt the hostilities. On the West Coast, Aisha Nizar of the Palestinian Youth Movement said in a statement that President Biden was hosting cocktail parties in San Francisco while thousands of people were being killed in Gaza. Protesters unfurled huge banners, and some of them lay on the ground with white sheets draped over their bodies as part of a die-in. California Highway Patrol Division Chief Ezri Beauchamp called the Bay Area protest highly coordinated. He said the patrol supports free speech rights but not a traffic shutdown that could prevent emergency vehicles from crossing. The American Civil Liberties Union challenged Florida's ban on pro-Palestinian university groups, arguing in a federal lawsuit on Thursday that the state is violating students' free speech as tensions roil U.S. campuses over Israel's war with Hamas. Florida's university system, joined by Governor Ron DeSantis, last month ordered colleges to shut down chapters of Students for Justice in Palestine, a group at the center of U.S. campus activism since Hamas attacked Israel on October 7. The lawsuit against DeSantis, a 2024 Republican presidential hopeful, and several state university system officials was filed on behalf of the University of Florida's SJP chapter and seeks a preliminary injunction to a state order blocking SJP from receiving school funds and using campus facilities. If Florida officials think silencing pro-Palestinian students protects the Jewish community or anyone, they are wrong. This attack on free speech is dangerous, Howard Simon, interim executive director of ACLU of Florida, said in a statement. A spokesperson for DeSantis said the governor was right to disband the groups. The White House has condemned Elon Musk, the world's richest man and owner of the social media site X, formerly known as Twitter, for promoting a hideous anti-Semitic conspiracy theory on his platform. Speaking to reporters on Friday, White House spokesman Andrew Bates criticized Musk for calling an anti-Jewish tweet which accused Jews of undermining Western civilization through support for immigration, the actual truth. We condemn this abhorrent promotion of anti-Semitic and racist hate in the strongest terms, which runs against our core values as Americans, Bates said. Musk ignited a firestorm of criticism when he praised a post on X, echoing the belief common among white nationalists that white people in Western countries are being replaced with an influx of immigrants from countries in the global south. The conspiracy theory that Jews are responsible for facilitating this replacement through support for immigration and resettling refugees is the same belief that motivated a far-right gunman who stormed a synagogue in the city of Pittsburgh and killed 11 worshippers. That attack, which took place in October 2018, was the deadliest anti-Semitic attack in U.S. history. A California University professor has been charged with involuntary manslaughter and battery in the death of a Jewish protester during dueling pro-Palestinian and pro-Israel rallies. Paul Kessler died after falling and hitting his head during protests over the Israel-Hamas war earlier this month near Los Angeles. Loe El-Naji, a professor of computer science at Moorpark College, was arrested early on Thursday, Ventura County Sheriff's Office said in a statement. Ventura County District Attorney Eric Nazarenko later said that El-Naji would be charged with a count each of involuntary manslaughter and battery. Kessler, who died on November 6, was among a group of pro-Israel protesters who appeared at a pro-Palestinian demonstration in Thousand Oaks, a suburb northeast of Los Angeles, the previous day. Ventura County Sheriff Jim Fryhoff earlier this month told reporters that investigators had determined that Kessler fell backwards and struck his head, but video footage did not provide a clear view of a physical altercation between the two men before the fall. Fryhoff said at the time that investigators had not ruled out the possibility of a hate crime. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for global updates. TikTok removed the hashtag Later to America from its search function after videos about Osama bin Laden's 2002 Later to America went viral on the platform and were re-uploaded to the social media platform X. Some social media users suggested that the Al-Qaeda founder's document gives an alternative perspective about the US involvement in conflicts in the Middle East. Throughout the week, TikTok users had been sharing the link to the Guardian's transcript of bin Laden's letter, which was written about a year after the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks, which killed nearly 3,000 people in the US. The Guardian took the letter down from its website Wednesday. In the letter, bin Laden addressed the American people and sought to answer the following questions: why are we fighting and opposing you? And what are we calling you to? And what do we want from you? The letter includes anti-Semitic language and homophobic rhetoric. The virality of the letter has reignited criticism of the platform, which is owned by China's ByteDance. The app has faced mounting scrutiny in the last year as the US and other countries argue it poses a threat to national security. Since Hamas' October 7 attack on Israel, critics of the app have alleged that it is using its influence to push content that is anti-Israel and contrary to US foreign policy interests. TikTok has said the allegations of bias are baseless. Researchers at the Institute for Strategic Dialogue, which studies extremism on social media, said they found 41 Letter to America videos on TikTok. While TikTok has now blocked Letter to America from within its search function, videos referring to Letter to America are still easily accessible under the search term Bin Laden, the institute said in its findings. The wreckage goes on for block after devastated block. The smell is sickening. Every day, hundreds of people claw through tons of rubble with shovels and iron bars and their bare hands. They are looking for the bodies of their children, their parents, their neighbors, all of them killed in Israeli missile strikes. The corpses are there somewhere in the endless acres of destruction. More than 5 weeks into Israel's war against Hamas, some streets are more like graveyards. Officials in Gaza say they don't have the equipment, manpower, or fuel to search properly for the living, let alone the dead. Israel says its strikes target fighters and the infrastructure of Hamas, the militant group behind the deadly October 7 attack that killed about 1,200 people in Israel. Hamas often operates in residential areas, and Israel accuses it of using the civilian population as a human shield, though it does not explain specific targeting reasons for most strikes. The victims are often everyday Palestinians, many of whom have yet to be found. UN aid deliveries to Gaza were suspended again due to shortages of fuel and a new communications shutdown, deepening the misery of thousands of hungry and homeless Palestinians as Israeli troops battled Hamas in the enclave. The United Nations World Food Programme said civilians faced the immediate possibility of starvation due to the lack of food supplies. Palestinian news agency Wafa said a number of Palestinians were killed and others injured in an Israeli strike that hit a group of displaced people near the Rafah border crossing between the Gaza Strip and Egypt, the transit point for aid. Al Jazeera TV cited sources as saying that 9 people were killed in the strike. There was no immediate comment from Israel on the reported strike. In other developments, Israeli troops carried out building-by-building searches at Al-Shifa hospital in the north of the Gaza Strip. Israel said its troops had found a tunnel shaft used by Hamas. The health ministry in Gaza said 24 patients have died in the past 2 days at the hospital owing to power cuts, reports AFP. A Canadian man inspired by white nationalist beliefs has been found guilty of murdering 4 members of a Muslim family by running them over with a pickup truck in an attack that sent waves of shock, grief, and fear across the country and spurred calls to tackle Islamophobia. On Thursday, 22-year-old Nathaniel Veltman, who had railed against immigration and Islam, was convicted of attacking the family in the Ontario town of London in June 2021. He was hunting for Muslims to kill, prosecutor Fraser Ball said in closing arguments, adding that Veltman had donned body armor and a shirt bearing a Crusader emblem. Salman Afzal, his wife Madiha Salman, their daughter Yumna, and Afzal's mother Talat were killed. The couple's 9-year-old son suffered serious injuries but survived. The family, originally from Pakistan, had been out for a walk near their home. Prosecutors called the attack an act of terrorism, and Veltman, convicted on 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 of attempted murder, faces life imprisonment with no chance for parole for 25 years. During the 10-week trial, the jury heard that Veltman had authored a far-right screed in which he described his hatred of Islam and opposition to mass immigration and multiculturalism. A fire erupted in a coal mining company building in a northern Chinese city on Thursday, killing 26 people and injuring at least 38, Chinese state media reported. Rescue personnel evacuated dozens of people from the building, according to state media. The building belongs to Yangzhou Coal Company and is in the city of Liuliang in northern Shaanxi province, a major coal-producing region. Videos circulating on social media, some of which were shown on state broadcaster CCTV, showed flames and heavy plumes of smoke coming out of a four-story concrete building. Some people were shown escaping the building by climbing down drain pipes. Those dead were almost all workers, according to local media outlet Fengmian News. The fire was first reported around 6:50 a.m. and had been put out by mid-afternoon on Wednesday, according to the local emergency management department. President Xi Jinping called for an investigation into hidden risks in key industries, CCTV reported. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 15,813.46. The NYSE Composite is increased by 96.91 points or 0.62%. Tokyo stock close price is 33,585.20. The Nikkei 225 index is increased by 160.79 points or 0.48%. Shanghai stock close price is 3,054.37. The Shanghai index is increased by 3.44 points or 0.11%. Hong Kong stock close price is 17,454.19. The Hang Seng index is decreased by 378.63 points or 2.12%. Bombay stock close price is 65,794.73. The Sensex index is decreased by 187.75 points or 0.28%. Let's have a look on today's sports stories. Lionel Messi could not help Argentina extend its unbeaten streak since its World Cup title. Uruguay beat Argentina 2-0 at La Bombonera Stadium in Buenos Aires on Thursday in a World Cup qualifying match, its biggest victory so far under new coach Marcelo Bielsa. Argentina hadn't lost a competitive match since its group stage opener against Saudi Arabia during last year's World Cup in Qatar. It hadn't lost at home since falling 1-0 to Paraguay in 2016, also during World Cup qualifying. Brazil continued its poor campaign in qualifying with a 2-1 loss at Colombia, its second consecutive defeat in the round-robin competition. Striker Luis Diaz scored twice on headers to lead an impressive turnaround at the Metropolitano Stadium in Barranquilla, with his father celebrating in the stands only days after being released by kidnappers. It was Colombia's first victory over Brazil in World Cup qualifying in 15 matches. Argentina still leads the 10-team South American qualifying group with 12 points from 5 matches. Uruguay is second with 10 points. Colombia has 9 and Venezuela 8. Brazil will host the World Cup champions at the Maracanã Stadium in Rio de Janeiro in 5th position with 7 points. Ecuador, Paraguay and Chile have 5 points each. Bolivia has 3 and Peru 1. Undefeated American boxer Shakur Stevenson labored to a unanimous decision victory over Edwin Los Santos of the Dominican Republic to claim the vacant WBC World Lightweight crown in a fight that had fans booing the lack of action. The unbeaten 26-year-old improved to 21-0 with 10 knockouts after easing past Los Santos via margins of 115, 113, 116, 112, 116, 112 at the T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas on Thursday evening. The win sealed Stevenson's third world title at different weight classes after stints as featherweight and junior lightweight champion. But it was a lackluster showing from both fighters, and crowd signaled its disapproval through the later rounds as boos echoed around the arena. Los Santos landed just 40 punches throughout the 12 rounds. According to the official CompuBox statistics, it is the fewest number of punches ever recorded in a 12-round fight since the system was first introduced 38 years ago. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. Biden signs a bill averting a government shutdown for now with Israel and Ukraine aid still stalled. Blinken urges Israel to stop settler violence in West Bank. Demonstrators demanding a ceasefire in Gaza shut down bridges in Boston and San Francisco. Florida sued over ban on pro-Palestinian student groups. White House slams Elon Musk's abhorrent promotion of anti-Semitism. Man arrested over Jewish protesters' death during pro-Palestinian rally. TikTok removes hashtag for Osama bin Laden's letter to America after viral videos circulate. Thousands of bodies lie buried in rubble in Gaza. Families dig to retrieve them, often by hand. UN aid to Gaza halted again. Canadian man found guilty of murdering Muslim family in truck attack. Fire at office building in northern China kills 26. Messi's Argentina loses first match since World Cup title, falling to Uruguay. Colombia beats Brazil. And Shakur Stevenson labors to WBC lightweight crown in win over De Los Santos. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our website. Our website address is www.millenniumnews24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV. And also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.